guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. Ever since Poco announced the Poco X3 in India, I've wanted to compare it to the Realme 7 Pro. Realme 7 Pro is going to be the biggest competitor to Poco X3, and that's exactly why I want to find out which phone is better for you. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to compare the Poco X3 with Realme 7 Pro, and let's find out which one should you buy. Now, as usual, I'm not going to talk about the similarities between both of these phones. And you know why? Because similarities are not going to be the deciding factors. The deciding factors are going to be the differences. So let's talk about them one by one. Number one is the form factor and weight. Poco X3 is both bigger and heavier as compared to Realme 7 Pro. Now this point comes down to personal preference. Some people don't mind heavy phones because they get used to it in a couple of days. Now if you are a person like me, I prefer smaller and more compact phones, and that's just a personal preference. So I would pick Realme 7 Pro over here because it is smaller, compact and fits in my hand better as compared to Poco X3. But as I said, this comes down to personal preference. Now if you ask me, is the Poco X3 too heavy? Nope, nothing like that. You will get used to the weight in just a couple of days, so it's not a big deal. It comes down to your personal choice. The next difference is the most significant one, and I guess this is the one which is going to be talked about a lot, and that is the display. Poco X3 comes with a 120Hz LCD display, and on the other hand, Realme 7 Pro comes with a 60Hz AMOLED display. I have talked about this topic in the past, but let's talk about it again. 120Hz LCD versus 60Hz AMOLED. Which one should you go for? The answer is actually pretty simple. It comes down to your use. If you consume a lot of content on your phone, for example, movies on Netflix, YouTube, Hotstar, Amazon Prime Video, etc., or content on Instagram, Snapchat, or these apps, then you should go for an AMOLED display. AMOLED displays have those deeper blacks, punchy colors, better contrast ratio, and they're just better for content consumption. So if you consume a lot of content on your phone, then it's a no-brainer. Go for the Realme 7 Pro and you'll have an excellent experience. Now, who should go for a 120Hz higher refresh rate display? I guess that's a very small category of people who will choose a higher refresh rate display, and that's because they are tech enthusiasts or they've used a higher refresh rate before and they cannot go back to a lower refresh rate display. So those people might choose a higher refresh rate display. But apart from that, I guess normal people won't care about the refresh rate that much. Tech enthusiasts like you and me might care about the smooth scrolling and swiping around, but normal people don't care about that. In fact, a lot of people won't be able to tell the difference between a 120Hz display and a 60Hz display. So yeah, it's a very small amount of people who will go with a higher refresh rate display. I hope that I have been able to clarify this point in a good way. I've tried to record this the third or fourth time, and yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm just gonna put it out there. You guys let me know your thoughts about this topic in the comment section down below. Now let's get back to the question. If I were to choose one, I would go with Realme 7 Pro because that display is really good. Like, I love that AMOLED display. This gets me to the third differentiating factor, and that is them cameras. Both of these phones have the same primary sensor on the rear side, and that is the Sony IMX682. But as we all know, the software is different and hence the images are different. Realme 7 Pro shoots cooler images, and on the other hand, Poco X3 shoots warmer images. The difference is pretty evident and neither of them are true to life. But Poco X3 comes close. So Poco X3 is more true to life as compared to Realme 7 Pro, and that's why the white balance point goes to Poco X3. The second difference is in terms of dynamic range. Dynamic range is better on Realme 7 Pro. It's not a huge difference, but there is a slight difference, and dynamic range is better on Realme 7 Pro. But overall, I would choose the Poco X3. Poco X3 shoots better photos, and this time around, Poco has done an excellent job in terms of optimizing their camera software. When it comes to the front side of things, Poco X3 is clearly better. Selfies are really good from the Poco X3 and it outperforms the Realme 7 Pro. All in all, for the camera experience, Poco X3 is definitely better, but it's not like Realme 7 Pro is far behind. Nothing like that. Realme 7 Pro is very close to Poco X3, but for the sake of this video, I have to choose one winner, and it is the Poco X3. This gets me to the fourth point, that is battery and charging. Poco X3 comes with a 6000 mAh battery with 33 watt fast charging. And on the other hand, Realme 7 Pro comes with a 4500 mAh battery with support for 65 watt fast charging, and yes, you do get the charger with the phone itself. It's like both of them exchange their chargers. A 6000 mAh battery with 65 watt fast charging would make a lot of sense. So in a perfect world, Poco X3 would have come with a 65 watt fast charging, but that's not the case, right? So in terms of charging speed, Realme 7 Pro is definitely better, but in terms of battery life, Poco X3 is better. So it's 1 point here and 1 point there. I'm gonna call this round a tie. This gets me to the last point, and that is other things. In that, the first point is fingerprint sensor. Poco X3 comes with a side-mounted physical fingerprint sensor, and Realme 7 Pro comes with an in-display fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor is better on Poco X3, it is faster and more accurate. I have faced a lot of issues with the fingerprint sensor on Realme 7 Pro, and that's maybe because this is an in-display fingerprint sensor. Next point in this category is IP53. Poco X3 comes with IP53 rating. That means it is splash proof. It's not waterproof or something like that, but it will be protected from minor splashes here and there, and it is good to have some sort of IP rating. So well done on that to the Poco team. Third point is IR blaster. Poco X3 comes with an IR blaster and Realme 7 Pro does not. IR blaster means that you can control a lot of appliances in your homes like your TVs, ACs or something like that using your Poco X3, and that is a very convenient and handy feature. What about the speakers? The speakers are better on Realme 7 Pro. They are louder and clearer as compared to the Poco X3. In terms of the vibration motor, both of these phones are equally bad. None of them are good in terms of the vibration motor. So those were the differences between both of these phones. Apart from that, they are very similar in terms of performance, USB Type-C port, headphone jack, and also in terms of the software. Both of them come with a lot of bloatware. Both of them are Chinese brands. I know this is a point of concern to a lot of people out there, so why not just put it out there? Both of them are Chinese brands but manufactured in India, so please keep that in mind as well. Now what about the price? So if we compare the same RAM and storage variant, Poco X3 comes for 18,500 rupees and Realme 7 Pro comes for 20,000 rupees. I guess Realme 7 Pro is slightly expensive. If it were priced at 18.5k, then yeah, it would have been a very good competition. But because Realme 7 Pro starts at 20,000 rupees, I guess a lot of people are going to prefer Poco X3 because they save up some money so that they can buy some other things, maybe like a pair of neckband earphones or something like that. So let's get back to the question, which phone is better, Realme 7 Pro or Poco X3? It's not like one phone is better for everyone. It comes down to personal preference, and I have talked about all the differences. So you guys need to make your trade-offs, you guys need to make your choices and then decide which phone is better for you. If you ask me, I would go with the Realme 7 Pro because I really like that AMOLED display and also the form factor of the phone. The form factor is really good, it's comfortable to use, and yes, I would go with the Realme 7 Pro. I don't know about you, but I will choose that. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. This was a comparison between Poco X3 and Realme 7 Pro. Do let me know how you feel about this video in the comment section down below. Also, if you like this content, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.